Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a special VSPEED presentation of the B-Series Super Formula officials here on iRacing. Presented by SimRacingNation.com, great partner of ours. Very helpful they've been in helping get it all set up, and of course, we're here for some official racing action. Should be an absolute blast here at Silverstone, of all places, the birthplace of Formula One. But before we get into that, I'm your host, Morgan Cook. Alongside me got Bradley Cooper, producer, color commentator, and you are watching VSPEED. All right, let's get on to the track facts here at Silverstone. The GP circuit, 18 corners here. 3.6 miles and change. Paved circuit, been around since about 1948. Like I said, the first time that Formula One raced here was in 1950. Back when this was the first Formula One race, and it has been a historic venue ever since. Flowing racetrack, a lot of fun to drive on. And someone's going to win today. They're really going to have a lot of fun. What do you say, Bradley?
Oh, absolutely, and here's a look at your points after 3 weeks of participation. A pretty sizable gap up there for Tavares, and he's got 23 points, but 20 wins. That's the number that stands out the most to me. How many times has he participated here in these 3 weeks of time? Guy seems like a machine going out there and just snagging one after another. His win percentage is over 40.
And don't look now, but he is in fact going to be in this session right now. They're qualifying at the moment. We won't know exactly where he starts for another 2 minutes and change. We got Marlowe, Petty, Silva, and Greaves are your top 5 in the official rankings. Branch, Gerber, Akers, Safarski, and Martinez round out the top 10. A lot of these drivers are going to be in this race today, so these point standings very well could change by the conclusion of this event. Let's chat about the race itself. 22 laps here, no safety cars, localized cautions only. Pit road speed is 37 miles an hour, although with the limiter it shouldn't make a difference, and you also shouldn't have to pit here unless things get a little crazy, and by crazy I mean wet. It very well could rain in this session. Wet tires are available. This will be a standing grid. Might be the first time VSPEED's ever had a standing grid, Bradley. What do you think about that?
Yeah, even in the GT3 series that we covered, I believe they were doing at least a grid, the half pace lap. So this is kind of an opening start that I haven't seen before. I've watched things on other broadcast channels, but never physically done a production for this. And something else that's going to be interesting, you're watching the B-roll here in the background. It's not that clear out here today. The weather, chance of rain is about 35%, 31 I think was the number we had there at the very start of the race. So it is an option, and it's very humid out here right now.
Absolutely. And also open setups tonight. So whatever you got, you got. It's not necessarily what iRacing gave you, it's what you came to the track with. So we'll see if that is going to change how these cars drive, or change maybe who runs up at the front, who doesn't run up at the front here, as we're just about to set up qualifying, just about to have it all finalized, and just about to get down to the grid here for the start of this race. Bradley, official series here on VSPEED. What are your thoughts?
I'm super excited. Yeah, maybe that's why I let you talk for the first probably minute and a half of this broadcast. I just, it's surreal to think that after 6 years we're getting to this point, and I mean, it's well deserved. The whole team, everybody's put in a lot of work, so I'm excited to watch Formula B top split. Here we go for the grid on the screen.
All right, starting on pole, Andre Aikson in the 6 machine. Timothy Larson going to start in the 2nd spot. Andrew Petty will not roll off. He's going to start from the standing start in 3rd. Connor Pooler in 4th. Corey James Elaine in the 5th position. Ludovic Renson. I apologize for these names. I'm doing my best here. Got Jensen Marlowe in 7th. Philippe Silva in 8th. Got Tavares in 9th. And Kyle Shepard rolls off in 10th in the 10th.
Dennis Branch will start in 11th position with Gabriel Hope. If I butchered that one, I apologize. Heather Littmanen will start in 13th. Miguel Fachado will start 14th position. 20 cars going to be on the static grid with Shirakawa and Rob Angus in 16th position. Dennis Cornu in 17th spot. Simon Fessy in 18th, and then 19th and 20th with Ben Ford, Scott Haddock in the 15. Let's take you down trackside as they're setting up the grid right now. Everyone coming out on this racetrack.
As we wait on a single driver, and that one being the pole sitter. Jensen Marlowe also just hit the grid, but just waiting on those 2 right now as pace lights are the lights are just about to go out, and we're about to get after it here. Just waiting on Jensen Marlowe to grid, and then we'll turn them loose. 22 laps here, and everyone's in position. Final countdowns.
And the green is out. Here we go.
As they fan out 4 and 5 wide in the back, contact. I think we all get away clean, however. We do.
Oh, we don't. There's a car sideways. I believe.
That's Marlowe. Jensen Marlowe is around.
Right out of the gate. Started in 7th, now back to 20th. He's lost 13 spots in turn 1.
They couldn't get up through that section of 3, 4, 5, Village, Loop, and Aintree. He's going to lose a lot of time all the way back to last on the grid. See if he can fight back here over the remaining 22 laps.
And look how boggy it is here. If it starts to rain here, Morgan, I know you said that there's probably not a chance it's going to happen, but if it does, imagine the visibility. It's already kind of limited here. Probably only got about 400 to 500 feet that you can see out ahead of you. And once these cars start kicking that rain up off these puddles, it gets impossible to see. These following distance will have to increase in order for these drivers to see where they're going.
That, and things happen so fast in these Formula cars anyway. Any kind of move left or right in the braking zone when it's wet could spell disaster for not just your race, but a few others as well. As not quite a battle for the lead right now. We go back to 10th. We have an epic battle. Chiraqua and the 16 machine here. Machado. Some drivers falling back through the field. It's hard to pass, as you probably have noticed here, Bradley. So anything you can get, you got to get it right now, because you probably won't get another chance at it.
And they're taking it. Another overtake just behind that for the 11th position. And off the track a little bit there. I believe that was Machado in the 16 that got a little wide there on the exit. And now he's going to hemorrhage a couple more positions back to 12th spot.
Absolutely, and one thing you mentioned is Fessie's around. Fessie has spun off the back of the course. And Lit Manon also has got a meatball flag. They are out of the race. So that's a couple drivers who are having a less than stellar day here. Go back what happened to Fessie.
I don't know if he had help or if he just went off the course a little bit. That was just actually in front of him.
Interesting. He spun himself as well, so...
That was Littman. That's how Littman got the meatball. That car destroyed.
Black screen or of some sort there. Not sure what happened exactly to Litman, but they are out of the race. Yeah, that car is destroyed. Back here live. Got some battles all over the racetrack here. Got one for 12th. Just had one for 16th as well. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is in our normal league races, incident points don't matter, right? There's no penalty for going over a certain number most of the time. Officials are very much the opposite. If you go off track, if you make contact with somebody, you register these incident points, and you can only get so many. It's a measure of basically how safe of a driver you are. If you get too many of these incident points, you have to take penalties. A drive-through under green flag conditions, which of course this is a fully green flag race, or a DQ if you get to 25 of them. So you got to be very, very careful not to go off track all that often, or else you will find yourself pitting eventually, and that will cost you many positions and definitely take you out of a good chance for a finish here.
Ludwig Rancon on board with him. Running in the 5th position. Hot on the heels, though, Corey James. And I've been watching this car start to pick up the pace. These last couple laps, he's been a little bit faster than the rest of the top 10. But that last time by, had a mistake, was trying to overtake and went out wide. So back into the rhythm here as we go down Johnny Walker on that bridge. A lot of speed here. This is one of the overtaking positions. If you can get the DRS, get that wake and that draft, a lot of cars will get around one another in that portion of the racetrack.
Yeah, these cars not with the no DRS enabled on these cars. You do, however, get a push to pass, which is quite interesting. It's like a little extra energy bank that you have. You get 200 seconds of it throughout the race, and it's open to use now, so you can have it for the rest of the race. You just can't go over those 200 seconds. That's what those little green banners are on the top of these race cars. If you see them from the front, that is if you have any of that available. And if it's blinking, it means that you're using the push to pass. If it's red, it means you do not have any push to pass left. So a little indicator for us to see how well it's going as we get to ride on in the cockpit, looking back across the steering wheel. Very interesting shot there.
Best angle I could give you of that green light you were mentioning there.
Yeah, all good. He's working in the race car right there. You see those shifters happening very quick. You have to shift through these gears. Lots of changes happening all the way throughout the lap. Every single lap here is fifth spot, trying to chase down fourth. Still hotly contested for 10th. We've got 4 cars under a blanket as far as Formula is concerned.
This is pretty close racing here. These guys have not been able to get away from one another. Ben Ford trying his best.
Just cannot quite get it here as we get through Maggots and Beckett's. Down through Chapel now and onto the Hangar Straight, or Johnny Walker as Bradley likes to call it. Regardless, trying to make some hay down this backstretch. Not gonna quite get to the inside. Oh, he does get there. Forces that car in there, gonna push out wide. And they're still side by side in the chicane. This is 16, 17, and 18. Wheel to wheel. Pass made. Success for Ben Ford.
So 4 laps completed now and working on lap number 5. Weather seems stable, 67 degrees. It's pretty sticky out here. And that was something we didn't really get to mention. There's no sunlight here today, so no certain portions of this racetrack are going to be hotter than others. And it's around 68 degrees. It came up 1 degree. Track at 87.
Yeah, so it should be quite a bit of grip out here for these drivers as they are fighting tooth and nail here right up to the top 10. Trying to keep these spots as Cornu and Angus are having an excellent battle. Not too far behind that 10th spot we're looking at. Officials with their with iRacing's skill-based matchmaking definitely creates some great racing action all the way throughout the field. You don't typically get people who just stretch it out and completely drive away. Usually you get these little packs of 3, 4, 5 cars all trying to fight for their spots, and it makes it a lot of fun to use this service, which I think is why we're all here, right?
On the strength of field in this top split session, 47.63. That's the average number across the board, but drivers in particular, maybe a little higher than that. We have some drivers that are over 7,000 in here, and that's what brings that average up. That's why it's top split. Split 2 at 2,500 average. We have 3 splits here for Formula B open setup. Battle here for 12th is spread out now with Silva and Angus moving apart. About 2.5 seconds separating them now.
Yeah, those 4 under a blanket have definitely separated themselves all about half a second apart from each other, as you mentioned. So no real contests at the moment. Up at the front though, Larson has caught up to your leader. We talked about high I-ratings. Larson is the highest I-rated driver in this split, over 8,000, which is quite unbelievable. Actually, that is alien territory.
Yeah, that's pro level numbers there.
Yeah, he's showing it. He's got speed right now, just under half a second behind your leader at the moment, and they are 2 seconds out in front of third.
It's interesting to me with these open wheel cars, all the mechanics, the safety, all the things that have changed over the years. And, you know, my experience is limited with watching this, but they've all but reconfigured the way these cars do anything now. And I know with the older cars, the danger was always there. Now we've got the halo that drivers maybe complained about to start. I think it maximizes safety. And when's the last time you've heard? I think it's been quite a while, IndyCar and Formula One both, but we've heard about any dramatic injuries in those series. So I'm starting to enjoy it. The more I watch these guys try to overtake for this lead, though, this battle, it's not a car that you want to make contact with, that's for certain. Sometimes unavoidable. These corners very narrow.
Absolutely got to be precise with these cars, maybe more so than a stock car in certain cases, where, as you mentioned, you can kind of make contact with a stock car. You can get up into somebody and maybe brush them aside, so to speak. You can't do that in these cars. They're too fragile. They're moving too quickly. And you try and move somebody out of the way, you're going to find yourself getting towed back to the paddock, and it's just not going to be good for you. As as we're within 2 car lengths here for the lead with about 15 laps to go. So a lot of time here to try and pass and a long time to have to defend this lead.
Watching the last time by, it was only 3 or 4 hundredths of a second that Larson was faster. But he doesn't need much here. He needs 2 tenths to get around. There's certain portions that it seems like Atkinson is faster on the exit. That's where he's pulling away, but the draft pulling him back up. And I think Larson's just waiting for that opportunity. He's backing up his entries, knowing that he's not going to have an overtake opportunity on that portion of the racetrack. It's smart driving.
And this is one of those questions where normally our answer is, oh, it's the driver because it's a fixed setup, but this is an open setup. So is it the setup that's maybe not holding him back per se, but is his setup stronger in a certain area than the leader? Is it the driver? What is the difference? What has got him so that he can get to 2 tenths but can't quite get any further, right, for Larson? We'll have to watch the rest of the way here. Maybe one car comes alive and one car starts to falter. Maybe it's a driver mistake. But it's going to be difficult to hang on to the lead here for the next 15 laps and have Larson right up the rear wing.
Yeah, he was all over him there. They are using every inch of this racetrack. Another factor here is off tracks. You don't want to cut corners or go out too wide. There's limitations to the track boundaries that will get you sent to the pits for a penalty. If you get enough times of off track, that counts as incident points, and you'll have to run it through pit road at 17x. You gotta keep that in mind as well, as we haven't even made it halfway.
Absolutely, and we watch this heated battle for the lead, of course. Well, let's not forget that if these two get together and make a mistake, Andrew Peddle is kind of on an island in third spot right there, just doing his own thing, right? He's got a big gap out in front, big gap behind. So any kind of issue for these top two, and he's in the catbird seat to go pick up a win here on a Saturday afternoon.
So now 8 laps complete. Atkinson has led every single one of them so far. And one of Timothy Larson keeping him honest. And right there, they're both kind of sliding. Chance to take the lead. He still couldn't get the throttle down. He's still trying.
Got the preferred line. Oh, he didn't. He couldn't quite make it. Push to pass enabled. On the high side there. Yeah, absolutely. These guys are driving it for all it's worth. Will there be another opportunity to make this pass for Larson? He was able to get right there with the slip. And I think all that really did is it brought third place about 0.6 of a second closer. Now a little bit more in the conversation is Petty.
Watching your points leader, he's picked up 3 positions back here in 6th spot. Started in 9th. Vera's looking solid, but maybe not the night that he's going to pick up his 21st win here in Formula B. He's got a pretty sizable gap up to the lead of about 5.5 seconds.
Now, while not impossible, I would say definitely unlikely, as all these drivers are running at about their fastest laps of the day. Fastest lap of the session was just turned by the driver we were just looking at there, Tavares. 1 minute, 36 seconds, 0.379. That's moving here around Silverstone.
There's a look at the fastest lap times on the left-hand side of your screen, and that stand out, as you said, with Tavares about 0.3 faster than your 2 leaders, 0.2 faster than Larson. Larson continues to pick up the pace here in the later half of this race. As we come by for lap 11. I'm interested to see if maybe both these cars are overdriving it, and Petty shows up at the very end. He's starting to pick up on it.
It definitely was better that time. Petty was, over these top 2. lot of good battles here throughout the field. Hard to know where to look. That's the best kind of racing, right? Is when you got to bounce between different battles, and you got so much to watch here around a really immaculate racing facility as Silverstone is.
When this battle subsides a little bit for the lead, we had an overtake for the 5th spot. The points leader able to get around. He was on push to pass, and it made a mistake. I think he's cleared him. I think he's good. So tough to tell, even with that extra inertia, that car trying to lay that power down. You push that button, and maybe not as noticeable as seasoned veterans like these guys, but I have pushed that button and lost control because of it.
Yeah, we're not exactly road course aces up here in the VSPEED booth, but we try our best. And yeah, push to pass can definitely get you in trouble. I've done it in IndyCar and found myself in the inside wall. Haven't done it in this Formula car, but I imagine it's a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
These drivers able to maintain it and do exactly what they have to do to make speed in these cars.
Now out to half a second here for Ekison, and Larson starting to fade off a little bit here. Again, last time by, the lap times 136.3 for Ekison, and the top 5 are still in that bracket. It's some of these guys may be off a little bit on their setups. Last time by, a full second slower here for 6th place. We were riding on him earlier, and he's lost ground. He got passed by Tavares just a few laps ago.
Side-by-side battle just subsided here, back for 14th as well. Hopp and Haddock going at it. There they are. Still fighting. Not quite over yet. So I'd be curious to see what kind of levels we have left for push to passes. Remember, we're halfway through the race, a little over halfway through the race. Oh, mistake here for Ben Ford. Just in front of these two. He's well off the pace. I don't know what happened to him, but he lost a lot of time. Lose another position here as well.
Gonna happen right here in this next corner. You're gonna see him kind of spinning around.
So I believe this is down in the chicane. There it is. He caught the sausage curb into the gravel trap. No wall contact though. That's down in 16 and 17.
And it's going to take a while for those tires to clean back off as well. I know.
That's right.
iRacing with road courses adding debris, so some of that gravel that was on those tires getting thrown onto this surface. So it's going to take a little bit for the track to clear off as well.
Right about that. He's still fighting.
What's this top 10?
Yeah, this is for Ben. Ben Ford is in 10th, trying to keep the 10th spot here.
They're very close to
pass. Oh, Maggots and Beckett's not exactly the place I'd want to go side by side through. Made it through for the moment, though.
Nick's right for a second there. I think he thought about something. They spread back out. I don't think we've seen the end of Ben Ford. Right here's where he had that problem just a moment ago. He's able to get through there cleanly this time.
Oh, another spin here. Felipe Silva, and the 4 machine is around. Just went for a spin.
He just had brake lock right there.
Yeah. Yeah, a little too hot into the corner. That was down in Brooklands. Round he goes. You'll see a great onboard shot here right from the driver. Apologies, that's not Brooklands. That is also 16 and 17.
Some of these drivers' races starting to fall apart past the halfway mark. It's back to 17th now for Silva. And one car out of the race is Jensen Marlowe. Also have McMahon in the 17 on pit road, 11 laps down.
Right about that. Driver we haven't talked about since his spin, Simon Fessy, working through the field. He's up to 15th position, trying to get around Scott Haddock for 14th. Caught up. Running similar lap times.
Oh, I can't wait to see it either. I know that the leaders have been kind of saving that in their back pocket to run these cars to the max. And that's a game of chess that you're playing at over 190, 200 miles per hour. When do you push that button? When do you want to really push your tires? Did you save enough of it through the first 20 or so laps? Do you have anything left? That's what I'm starting to wonder about Larson as he's faded off another couple tenths here. Like I said, starting to stretch this lead out to almost a full second. I think for a moment there, the sun was trying to peek out on the front stretch.
The sun?
Maybe
Are you
not.
sure?
Maybe not. It seems like this overcast was breaking up for a second there.
Well, iRacing not too long ago implemented the realistic weather conditions, and we are in England after all, so I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get a chance to see the sun here through these 22 laps. Only about 7 or 8 remaining in this race. Still some excellent battles. You mentioned the one for the lead. Still under a second separating those two. We got some pretty good battles here. 6th, 7th, and 8th, as well as 11th through 14th. A lot of drivers here just trying to hang on at this point in the race.
It's Connor Puller in the 7th position, number 8 car all over the back bumper, and Ludwig has held on well, but again, a little off the pace there in the 9. He had a hiccup there at the start of the race. He's recovered that, but falling off the pace there a moment ago, back into the 1:36 lap time now. I think that car has settled down.
I think what's impressing me the most about this field is just how consistently consistent these guys have been. I mean, we're running 136s the entire time, other than when you're trying to pass someone, which is just so incredibly difficult to do. I mean, there's a reason why we're in top split right now, as we're going for an overtake. Oh, a bit of a block there. That's going to separate those guys a little bit, of lifting a bad spot for Pooler. He got kind of blocked in a weird situation there. But I mean, we're consistently in that same kind of bracket. You're running about 3 and 4 tenths different on lap time than what you do on your best lap to your worst lap, and that is so difficult to do with traffic, changing weather conditions, tires heating up, push to passes, all that stuff. It makes it very difficult to be consistent all the time, and these 18 left on the racetrack are showing why they belong in top split.
Now a full second for Atkinson. Larson falling off about 2 tenths a lap now. We were looking at those fastest lap times a moment ago. And as that board changed, somebody was saving that car in the back pocket and now is driving off into this very foggy sunset. Impressive drive so far for the 6.
Absolutely, and in oval racing, we talk about short run, long run for when you're talking about between pit stops. For these, you only have the one run to deal with. You're only going to go one stint. You don't have to make a pit stop. So setting up your car to maybe be a little bit sluggish to start, able to maintain, but not necessarily lights out quick, and then have it really come in once that fuel load wears off and the tires don't really wear all that much. That's going to be the ticket to be able to go get this win. And we've seen the 6, just he's been able to maintain and hang on. We saw Larson get right up to the back bumper, or to the rear wing, I should say, for a good chunk of the first 8 laps or so. But once we got to halfway, it's like a switch flipped. And now Atkinson has just been lights out faster for the rest of this race to this point.
On board with him as you watch. The first portion of this racetrack starts to narrow up for a moment, then you get wide out. You got so many different varieties of corners, but they're all flat. There's no real elevation changes here at this place. And that's another part that we won't see at places like Fuji or Road America. There's a lot of change transition in the way that racetrack goes.
Yeah, this one of those, definitely a flatter racetrack. Really the only elevation changes happen down on the back of the racetrack through Maggots, Beckett's Chapel, down into the front stretch. That's kind of really where the only elevation changes are, and it's still pretty flat, all things considered. You're absolutely right. Most of these F1 courses find themselves with some fairly hefty elevation changes. Can't really tell much from that one, as it is so foggy out here.
I tried.
Yeah, you sure did. Looks like Ranson had a bit of an issue. He's about 10, 11 seconds off the pace of his last lap. Not sure what happened to the 9 in 9th. Bit of a mistake somewhere. There he goes.
So we back this up a little further and see what happened to him. Again, his car was fading back a little bit. He was running around 6 when this happened. That was Connor Puller behind him.
Yeah, so far so good. Oh, just went around under acceleration. A lot of horsepower these cars have, and while the downforce is excellent, it's still possible to light up the rear tires, so to speak.
Especially at low speed like that. Not a lot of downforce on that rear spoiler.
Right about that.
What's always been interesting to me is translating that in code, as iRacing does so well, and getting that feedback through the wheel. Of course, we don't have the G-forces and the inertia, the feel of the car in most setups. Some people do have motion rings, but most of us are stationary, so to feel and get that translated to maybe your pedals or your wheel, it's very difficult. And iRacing has done a fantastic job across the board. And this new tire model, of course, for these road cars and what they've been doing with the telemetry of real-world teams, it's always interesting to me how you would translate that to a simulation and make it feel so realistic. They've done a great job.
And then the ability to race wheel to wheel with people all over the world is also just a very impressive, feat.
Yeah, 20 years ago wasn't possible,
Yeah, definitely it's been, well, coming up on 20 years of iRacing too, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
2008, I think, is when it was released, so. And been enjoyed. And definitely being enjoyed right now by Larson, who has caught up. Look at this. He caught up half a second here this lap.
Maybe a mistake here for Ekison. Maybe he was over driving it as he pulled out to that 1 second lead. We're starting to hit that pace now with 4 to go, where these drivers are going to use these cars for all they're worth.
Well, how about a 35.6 for Larson? That is crazy fast. That's actually the only 2 laps we've seen in the 35s all day just came from your top 2, 35.9 and the 35.6. So we are starting to haul the mail, so to speak. Push to pass being lit up. You can see the flashing light here on the car. You will when we get a look at it from any other angle. But we are really getting after it here. With under 5 to go. What do you think? Does he get there, Bradley?
I don't know. It looked like the moment that he did start to catch up, like I said, started the same kind of rhythmic, hit that button every straightaway and keep the pace going. He pulls back out to 8/10. So I think right now they're just kind of playing the same strategy of wait until the last 4 or 5 laps to push these cars. It's going to be probably who makes the mistake first, I think, is where that's going to make or break that battle.
Absolutely. And sometimes you want to just fire a shot, so to speak, and have a really great push to pass lap that makes your competitor think, oh man, am I that much slower? Maybe they start overdriving a little bit and then force themselves to make a mistake. That could have been what happened there with Larson. Is he still about 9/10 back? So he's not close enough to really take advantage of a mistake if there's a small one. It'd have to be a pretty massive issue for Larson to be able to take advantage. But this continues to be the best battle on the racetrack. Yeah, this is great stuff. Angus and Fessy have not sorted out who's going to take this position.
Ooh, wiggle there. He was trying to get to his left side.
They tried to cross him over. Didn't quite have the rear tire grip to do it.
He wants him bad. He keeps hitting that button to try to keep pace with him. But just a really good exit there for Rob Angus. And they're starting to catch up to this driver here. It's Gabriel Hope in the 20, running in 12th. He's had a quiet day. He started in 12th position. And they're all
exactly
night.
where he's running. Yeah, exactly where he's running. Excellent run considering the car number would have him estimated to finish 20th. Of course, the car number lines up to where you're ranked in the field on iRating. So him being the 20 car means that they estimate he should finish 20th based on his iRating. So running 12th is definitely a big improvement from that.
Another 10th gain here. He hasn't been able to stretch it out to a full second, I don't think. But looking that way here as we get 2 to go. If Larson has anything for him, now's the time to show it. He might run out of time. We still have about 7 miles left here.
Yeah, 7 miles, 36 corners and dwindling here in Silverstone. Been a fun one so far. Seen a little bit of everything here, except for rain. No precipitation. Other than that, seen a little bit of everything.
Still have some battles back there around the top 10 as well. Between Ben Ford catching up here.
You had a 3-car battle. Angus, Fessy, and Haddock all within half a second of each other.
Haddock up. He had actually qualified back in 20th position. So up 5 spots and looking to get 2 more with 2 laps left. Are they going to give him a chance here, though? They're already side by side right in front of him.
Absolutely right here. Fessy trying to get the spot from Angus. Angus trying to hold tough on the high side here. Looks like it's not quite going to be enough. Fessy's going to get that position. Can Haddock follow him through is the question. He will not.
Saw that green light flashing. He wants it. Through that portion of the racetrack, I don't know if that's going to be helpful.
Yeah, down through the S's section of Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. Onto Hanger Straight.
One more to go here, Morgan.
Pass. 1 to go.
Full second lead here for Atkinson. He's led every single lap from the start of this race. He had one little mistake where Timothy Larson was able to get to his bumper. Recovered nicely. One more time around here from Silverstone.
Well, he's only about 10 corners away from what would be simply lovely, as Max Verstappen puts it. Winning the pole, leading every single lap with the fastest lap of the race. Only a few more sections of this racetrack to do it. It's going to get through the ESTA section, 10 through 14. There he goes now. No problems through this part of the racetrack. Onto the Hanger Straight. Only 4 corners remain. No pressure from behind. Push to pass. Still enabled, though. Can't take any chances. Not a tire put wrong, other than that little slip we saw through the final chicane and around Club Corner. And your winner is going to be Atkinson. He put it on him tonight. Dominant race. Absolutely. Great drive for him. His last lap of the race was a 35-12.
Still got some battles back here with problems for Ben Ford. I don't know. This is a lot of positions lost here for Ford. He's losing ground. He's got a meatball flag.
Yeah, he lost the rear cover of that car. The 7 as well, having issues. These two battled the entire time together. We're going to have to go back and see what happened to these two.
This was for around the 12th position. And a lock up here into the back of him. I just shredded that left side apart.
Absolutely. Just missed the braking zone a little bit, and it's a drag race, so to speak. A couple turtles here trying to get to the finish line.
See if I have a better angle at this. You could just see a...
Yeah, tried the dive bomb and just wasn't any space for it. Unfortunate for those two guys who should have finished near the top 10 are going to end up well back of that. All right.
Let's take a look at those final results here, Morgan. What do you say?
All right,
performance for that guy.
Absolutely, Atkinson started first, led every lap, won the race with the fast lap. Simply lovely, fantastic drive. That is your winner here. Larson finishes in the second spot where he ran most of the day. Petty in third, exactly where he started. First change for position. Fourth spot, Corey James Elaine finishes in that fourth position, up 1 from fifth. Tavares, the points leader, he will finish in fifth. In the 5, Connor Pooler in the 6th position. Dennis Branch will finish in 7th. Kyle Shepard finishes 8th. Ludwig Ranson in 9th. And Gabriel Hopp in the 10th spot.
Bessie's going to finish in 11th with Angus in 12th. Haddock is going to finish 13th. Shirakawa is going to finish 14th position. Cornu in 15th. Silva in 16th. There's Ford, we just saw on the replay with heavy damage. He was up to 12th. He started 19th. He'll finish 17th tonight. Machado will finish in 18th with Marlowe in 19th. And these two cars 17 and 20 laps down with Littman rounding out the field. Early exit for them. Well, an eventful one here, Morgan. Our first coverage here for the Formula V Top Split Series. I had fun. It was a good one.
Absolutely. And if you want to treat Bradley, we have our points leader available for a conversation if you want to indulge.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Let's bring him up here. Hello, points leader. 5th spot here today.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well.
What a race.
Yeah, absolutely was. Tell us about it.
I mean, I did a bad, not a very well quali. I think I got a bit nervous there. Didn't do my best performance at quali, so I had to fight on the race itself. But I had a pretty good start. Someone spawned right in front of me. I had to take some avoiding action there. Got a 1 second slow down, and I think I lost another 2 or 3 places that I needed to gain on the race. But it was a fun battle. Had a couple guys battling with me, and at the end, I almost lost the 5th place.
You were able to hang on to it, and win 21 was not in the books in this one of this season. You got 20 wins so far, been absolutely phenomenal. You are the points leader across all of iRacing for this series, so congratulations on that.
I think that's not very precise. There is some guys, very strong guys that have only 2 weeks, so they didn't race in Silverstone on one of the previous ones. So I got a little advantage there. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm gonna try to hang on to that top 5 or maybe get 2nd or 3rd place there on the championship. That's the goal.
Awesome, definitely a great goal to have. And while we have you up here, why don't you give us a shout out who you want to thank for this event here?
I mean, of course, my wife. She unconditionally supports me on this theme adventure. and some of my Brazilian guys. We have a little joke that we have on the Super Formula Brazilian Storm. So I want to thank those guys for helping me improve on the track.
Awesome. Well, hopefully you'll go back and watch this one here on VSPEED. It was absolutely a blast to watch, and thank you very much for hopping in here and having a chat with us.
Absolutely, guys. Great one, and hopefully we get some more this season too. It's always exciting, and we get a lot of participation when we have broadcasts. So thank you guys for setting this up.
You bet. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to chat there with the points leader, and he comes home in the 5th position after starting in 9th. Like you said, he just had a little mistake there in qualifying, and you know, when you start that far back, it takes forever in these cars to get them, you know, the tires heated and get confident and comfortable with your rhythm. And not to mention you have 19 other people around thinking the exact same thing that maybe make it impossible to navigate through the field. So gaining 4 spots, impressive drive for him. And Tavares showing why he is the points leader. He's been consistent all the way through.
Absolutely. And long season left. Still got another 9 weeks or so that he has to maintain this kind of form to be able to take home that championship in this series. Something that every driver who's races in these wants to do. They want to win races. They want to win championships. And he took a good step towards it today here at Silverstone.
We appreciate you guys coming out and watching here tonight live on VSPEED for the Formula B Open Setup Series. And we'd like to thank all of the sponsors that helped put this together. And then, you know, of course, SimRacingNation.com, who has been phenomenal to us to give us this opportunity. You can check them out as well. Link in the description. And of course, the folks at iRacing for hosting this official series and session. Morgan, before we let him go, any final thoughts as to what we might see in the future?
Well, hopefully some more iRacing officials. I mean, this is absolutely a lot of fun to be a part of. I got to thank you, Bradley, for joining me up here, pushing all the buttons and giving me some great color commentary here around this Silverstone Raceway. If you haven't already, folks, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I don't think we've actually said that at all throughout this. So
No, we have not.
definitely, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the notification icon so you don't miss a moment of the racing action, whether it be iRacing officials or league racing like we have later tonight here on the channel. A little bit of Daytona for the NSR LA series, among others. So, I mean, I'm just glad to be here, glad to have this opportunity, and thank you to everyone who helped make this happen. And hopefully, we'll be back here on iRacing with more of these shows.
For Adam Baker and everyone in between, Morgan Cook, lead commentary through this season, and hopefully more on this series. And tonight, you can catch more action on VSPEED, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, NSRLA, Stock Car Racing at Daytona. Until then, everybody, it's Bradley Cooper saying so long from Silverstone. Stay tracking, everybody.